Starting off a day with a view of the water, starting a day with a view of Max.
It's good for everybody. Come on, doggy. You think you're gonna have to poop? We'll take it just in case.
So I actually came across this crazy story. You might have heard it before you left to go record your video. But it was about somebody who, I thought they tried to steal her dog. They did steal her dog.
Oh, I wish somebody would.
This woman was sitting here and she was eating lunch with her dog. Or
Keep it moving,
she was
Max.
just eating lunch and the dog was there. I don't know if she was eating lunch with the dog.
Okay, keep moving. Come on, keep going.
She said she's sitting there and it's kind of like one of those situations where you didn't really believe it. And someone is trying to call the dog. And then the dog, and then just grabs the leash and then takes the dog. Like, she was probably in shock that someone would actually do that in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So they steal her dog. She then chases this person into a car where they took the dog into. They try to pin her between their car and the car in front of her. And she falls onto the hood so she doesn't like break her legs.
Yeah.
They then take off down the street with her on the hood of the car, and it's captured by all these security cameras on the streets. So they're trying to like do some tracing to figure out the license plate, but it's caught on camera. And they stole the lady's damn dog.
And then willingly tried to commit murder, vehicular homicide, manslaughter over a dog. But here's the question. Is there something we don't know? Did that lady find that dog and decide to keep it and the rightful owner saw it and took it back?
There's a lot of things we don't know.
We'll never
There's
know.
a lot of things we don't know. What we do know is you can't make this stuff up.
No.
It just keeps getting crazier and crazier every single day. So the real question is, how do you prepare for something like that? Or how do you prepare for anything? Because really, think about it. We were talking about the channels and their start and their growth, and having started in February and March of 2022. And the term, the thought, the idea, the strategy behind preparing at the beginning of 2022.
It's not the same as preparing in the beginning of 2024.
Absolutely not.
No.
So most importantly is going to be, I guess a constant has always been, hang on one second, he needs to do what he's supposed to do. He needs to be over there.
Oh.
He needs to be over there. He's doing this on purpose.
Come on.
Yeah, but safety is always going to be a priority. Has been and will always forever be. I don't think that we're so much worried and concerned about the issues that were back then of possibly running out of food because of the going to the grocery stores and experiencing these empty shelf scenarios. But there is still that same concern that I had back then of not being able to afford the food because of how expensive it is, or at the time was getting, and now is. And you know, when you can go, unfortunately, to McDonald's and spend, you know what, it's funny, it's a joke, but it's not really funny. When you can go to McDonald's and spend $18 for a Big Mac meal in certain parts of the country, but at the same time, why is that? And it's because now minimum wage is over $20 an hour in certain places. I think maybe over $20 an hour in certain places.
April 1st in California, it's 20 bucks.
And it's a little cool out here. I probably should have put on something with toe coverage and socks.
I have on fuzzy furry slippers that I stole from the kid, and you're over there with toes out.
Yeah, your ankles are probably very toasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, we got minimum wage jumping up to $20 an hour, which is great considering, you know, if I was in high school and I was working at McDonald's making $20 an hour, that would have been amazing back then.
You're gonna need to watch the video I made today.
Okay, sweet. Why?
It has a lot to do with what you're talking about right this second.
Well, it gets worse because, like I said, it's funny, but it's not. Because we watched Ryan Trahan yesterday, and he was joking about getting the most expensive menu item, which ended up being a sandwich, a burger, created by the staff to win the bag award.
Yeah.
And it got up to like $26 for a sandwich.
Yeah.
But that was a joke, you know. But in reality, like, the truth is that the prices are going up. They're getting higher. So suggestions for preparation, getting prepared.
I don't know why my brain can't get past that.
Is, you know, it's always going to be about the money.
Yeah.
It's always going to be about the money. Like, even the story last night about that we were talking about with this crazy woman at Walmart who let her baby roam around, not roam, but be out and about with her with just a diaper on.
I don't like that you use the word let, because it was her job as the mother of a child small enough to still be in diapers to take care of him. That child, she didn't let that child go out in a diaper. She purposefully did not clothe her child correctly. Like,
I'm wondering if it's even acceptable. For that to happen in the summertime. Because, you know, you go inside these stores, they got air conditioning, especially down here in Florida. You go inside the store, the air conditioner's blowing like crazy. And then you go into the freezer section.
Yeah.
Like, I think the baby should have something on.
Well, as a baby, even being outside for too long in just a diaper, you got to worry about sunburn and all that kind of stuff too.
But
you just never know.
Like I said, it's all about the money. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that even as bad as the situation was, even with the ridiculousness behind Walmart firing that employee. Side note, there's a guy that lives in there. He lives underneath a box.
Why they started taking out the trees.
No, he's still there. Like,
I know, but they've tried taking out the trees, but unless they're coming back and checking on it daily. This side. Come here, Max. Out of the room.
But that's what I was recording over here the other day.
Come on, keep it moving.
And this guy was talking to him in there, and he's still in there, but there's not a lot of people in there, but there's still, he's the one with all the cats. But even no matter how crazy the situation is and how they fired this woman for trying to do the right thing, do you know what couldn't have been done in that entire situation?
What?
What couldn't have been done would have been for someone to go
pick that child up and carry it away.
Someone to go and clothe that child for free. Now, granted, people steal from Walmart all the time, but if you've seen the video, then you'll know that a woman came in and bought clothing for the child to put on the child. And that's what I'm saying. It always comes down to money.
Walmart fired the employee, but Walmart at no point in time stepped in to clothe the child.
You know, the problem that we have right now in Texas, in New York, in Chicago, in Colorado, in Denver, in these sanctuary cities, the problems that we have, you do realize, are, again, about the money. Now, obviously, there's the legal component and aspect of it from the standpoint of illegal immigration and, you know, breaking the law and crossing the border. But think about it. Denver is one of many cities that's giving migrants money. Yeah. They're giving them money.
But they're not giving it to the homeless Americans and homeless veterans.
They're giving them food. They're giving them places to stay. In New York, they're kicking kids out of school to put the migrants in, so that
messing with the education of our future leaders,
and then
in order to house immigrants.
The Biden administration is giving them a green light and a fast track to visa status,
work visas,
to go to get the money. Yeah. So I'm not, everybody was like, oh my God, Kevin, money, this, that, you're always talking about money. Look, I'm telling you.
Everything comes down to money.
I'm telling you.
Well, here's the thing. You have the Biden administration, the Democratic administration, letting in all these illegals and then trying to get them work visas so then they can go out and vote. So now they have 8 million new voters who will vote for them because they're grateful that they were allowed into the country and given all this money and everything else.
Yeah. So when I say that 2024, I'm focusing on safety first, and I'm focusing on money second. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, well, what's the biggest threat?
You know what the biggest threat's gonna be, and it's not what you're thinking at all. But you were telling that story about the dog that was stolen, and a lot of times you go to the vet and they're like, hey, have you chipped your pet yet? That way if they get lost, if they get taken, somebody takes them to the vet, they automatically scan for chips and pets, whether you bring them in or not, and they know you, they still scan the animal. And if there's a chip, they can give the animal back to the rightful owner. Well, the next one's gonna be, make sure you chip your kids, because if somebody takes your kid and they go to the doctor's office or someplace, or, you know, police find them, they're gonna wanna scan them to make sure that where they belong. You know, if you're gonna chip your kid, you might as well chip yourself, because you just never know what's gonna happen to you. And if you have a chip in you that we can scan and whatever.
Well, I thought you were gonna say chip yourself, because they'll link the chips together.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, all right, we didn't scan your dog, we gotta scan you.
Yeah.
But you're actually 100% right, because they're already doing that, and they're gonna do it to the point where you'll no longer need a paper passport. So it's gonna be, you know, it's not just a digital ID, it's not just having your driver's license on your iPhone or your smartphone in some sort of digital wallet. They're wanting to do away with that altogether. And, you know, not necessarily the same scenario and experience of Kara and Nate on their $18,000 first class residence flight from London to Abu Dhabi. But the funny thing about it was, they were like, we have yet to touch our boarding pass.
Yeah, they never had to touch anything because somebody else handled it for them.
But
at some point, it's going to be, you don't have to touch your boarding pass because they've already scanned you.
Right.
They know who you are.
Right.
Facial recognition gets you through the doorways and things like that.
The TSA is already working on these kiosks that will eliminate the human being from doing the work of security. But at the same time, it's like, literally, you'll be able to go through. They'll make the airport a touchless process of literally just scanning you, facial recognition.
I like recognition.
And
you got real country with
recognition, and you got that, and then you got the RFID, and
Walmart's doing that,
and the NFC, and all these, you know, 5G towers, all these things that they're using AI.
I mean, you got to think about it. Whole Foods already, you scan your palm, and your palm links your credit card to you and everything else, so that you don't have to carry your wallet into Whole Foods and Amazon Go and places like that.
But just to touch on the real threat. So the threat before, think about it. If we look back on history, and before it was, okay, so we're gonna run out of food. The bread basket, Ukraine, you know, grain, fertilizer, and potash or potash. I don't know which one it is, potash. And then we also had the other one was diesel. All these inputs, right? So what were people doing? They were hoarding. They were hoarding.
Stocking correctly. Some people were hoarding.
They were stocking up. They were going out and buying stuff. They were growing their own. Tractor Supply Co. was getting sold out of chickens and coops and other things. And so
they were preparing.
Right. Okay. So where are we at today? What's the threat? Where do we face the shortage in regard to the money?
Ow, ow.
Is something in your shoe?
Yeah, a rock. From walking around in that little section, I got a rock.
Nice toes.
Hey, thanks.
What color is that?
Pink.
Just pink? No special.
I don't know the name.
Let's call it bubble gum.
It looks like bubble gum.
So, all right. You were worried about the food, and you still should be, but again, not because it's not going to be there, except for the fact that a lot of the food is not going to be there because it's going to be recalled.
Yeah.
But you did things in order to prepare yourself in case there was no food. So now we got to do things in order to prepare ourselves in case there's no money.
No money.
Okay.
And also no, oh, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Never mind.
I'm sure it's a good word.
It is. It's probably a whole phrase that I can't think of right now.
But with that, where's the threat? All right, the threat is the jobs.
I was gonna say security, self-security.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
personal
security,
personal safety, personal protection, and so and that's crazy. You mentioned that because the TSA is continuously finding more and more guns getting loaded through check bags.
It's a good thing they may.
Or I'm sorry, carry-ons.
Good thing they may do away with people soon.
Carry-ons and check bags too.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you want to prepare for this threat. Okay. So essentially, what it boils down to is that these companies are laying off thousands and thousands of employees. I don't know if you heard about Bank of America, but Bank of America, they pulled the old okey doke. And they fired people 3 days before their bonuses.
Oh,
3 days before their bonuses, okay? So.
Oh, well, speaking of before something, this is totally off topic, but it's very important to know. I used the app Doctor on Demand one time last year because going into a doctor's office, it was like a 2-week wait and I needed to get something answered.
Was it the vagina stuff? Was it the OBGYN app?
No.
I heard that one wasn't. I thought that was just some brother on the other end, like, yeah, girl.
It looked good to me. But no. So I used Doctor on Demand, the app, right? It was before our cruise, so it's probably for the
bands.
The bands,
the
patches. So I used the Doctor on Demand app when I had one specific insurance, right? And it's free when you have that specific insurance. I didn't have to pay anything for the Doctor on Demand app usage. I ended that insurance in November and got a new one. They billed me in January and said I owe them $54 because they waited until the next year to process it, and now I'm on a different insurance.
Jacked up.
So yeah.
That's deductibles are annual. That's jacked up.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I wonder what the insurance situation is like for Karen and Nate when they're traveling internationally, if they need to go to the doctor or the dentist. I don't know how that works.
Good question.
Granted, some countries, they just let you do what you do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody's covered if you're in that country.
Yeah.
But either way, the money, these jobs, they're cutting jobs or laying people off, doing shady stuff. Bank of America, like I already said, they claimed they weren't going to lay anybody off. They were just going to let attrition do its thing. But then Brian Moynihan said, never mind, we're going to lay some people off. Google, YouTube, Amazon, Twitch, maybe the damn sanitation department, because I don't know, somebody need to come pick up this dumpster.
You know what I was thinking earlier? How many of those things do you think are from people who don't live here, who know there's a dumpster here and they just come drop all their stuff off?
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, got to prepare yourself for all these different things, and prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And with that being said, it's like, you got to do what you got to do to make sure you got the money coming in, you got a savings, you got an emergency savings, and you got backups for alternatives to not just the access to liquidity, but also to replacement income.
Keep cash stashed places.
And so that's important. And I would not rely on credit cards, even though a lot of people are using credit cards and cash transfers and cash advances to pay their mortgage or pay their rent, pay their mortgage too. And knowing that a lot of these property managers are offering that, we're going to be in a tragic debt bubble and debt crisis and debt cycle. And similar to Walmart's buy now, pay later, it's all going to come to a head here soon. But again, another thing you're going to have to be prepared for. It's not a matter of running out of food. It's not a matter of running out of that food anymore, because it's not like what it was. And possibly this time next year, I'll be telling you, it's not so much of a worry of running out of money, but next year we're going to be moving on to phase 3, which according to the WEF, their focus is on misinformation and disinformation, so they may not appreciate me telling you guys this and sharing this insight with you guys. But the truth is, the fact of the matter is
I thought you were close to done. My bad.
Their focus is on climate change. Their focus is on climate change now, so everything's gonna be linked to climate change. You got another rock?
Nope, I just stepped in dog shit because somebody didn't clean up after their dog.
How is there dog shit?
Because people don't clean up after their dogs.
Why would there be dog shit on the sidewalk?
Because people don't clean up after their dogs.
Who lets their dog shit on the sidewalk?
Somebody who shouldn't be allowed to have dogs.
All right, we're gonna run DNA tests to figure out whose dog this is. Maybe that's human. I don't know. That's messed up.
That's disgusting is what it is.
That's messed up. See, that's what I'm talking about. They're gonna get rid of dogs.
This is why they say don't look up. You gotta look at the ground.
They're gonna get rid of dogs. They're not gonna let dogs here anymore.
Well, yeah.
Because the people don't do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
But either way, they're pushing for climate change. They're gonna use that to leverage against a lot of different things that will have an impact on your money, ESG, insurance, all these things. But I think phase 3 next year is going to be, okay, we're not really worried about running out of money. We're worried about the credit problem because they've dug this gigantic hole with credit cards and credit card debt and buy now, pay later loans and Affirm and everything. It's coming, folks. Stay tuned, stay safe, watch your six, keep your head on the swivel, and most importantly,
stay frosty.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence, but I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go fire.